Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, I do trust you enjoyed my last video from Dido, and through her song White Flag, we looked at when relationships end, but there still might be love for the person there. So I trust you found that one encouraging. This series can get onto tricky stuff at times. We're going from there to a guy that was born in Flower Fifth Avenue Hospital in New York in 1950. Very much part of a showbiz family. And when his father Jack divorced his mum without this guy really realising it, he married the iconic Shirley Jones. Of course, we'll get onto the show that made Shirley famous in a minute. The guy we're talking about is David Cassidy. Now, before his big breakthrough in 1970, David Cassidy was already starting to get a bit of a career. He featured in some TV shows including Ironside, Marcus Welby MD, Adam 12, Medical Central, and Bonanza. That's the one that had Lorne Green in it. It was a pretty iconic show I can remember in the 1970s. But it was in 1970 that the phone call came about this new sitcom called The Partridge Family, and David Cassidy was cast as the lead role as Keith Partridge in that. Now, David didn't originally want to do it, but in hindsight, he's glad he did. And The Partridge Family was a massive show that went from 1970 to 1974 and 96 episodes. There was probably nothing bigger than this show when it came out. And when it was discovered that David not only had a pretty good singing voice, could also play the guitar, he was the perfect front man for what was the sitcom of The Partridge Family. And it was really busy for David, because while he was actually doing the shooting of the show during the day, he was recording the songs at night, because obviously the Partridge Family couldn't actually sing that much, and so they had to record the music at night. So it was a crazy time for David Cassidy, and I don't know how he kept up with it. In fact, I don't think he did catch up with it, and I think it got on the better of him at some point. But because of The Partridge Family, David Cassidy became an absolute phenomenon. He became an absolute major draw card wherever he went. In fact, when you think about hysterias, David Cassidy actually had one as well. Think about ABBA having one, the Beatles having one, Bay City Rollers having one. Well, David Cassidy well and truly had a hysteria as well. In fact, he had sellout concerts in such iconic stadiums as Madison Square Garden, Wembley Stadium, the MCG, where there are like 33,000 people. Was pretty amazing for one concert to 33,000. There was a bit of an incident with the White City Stadium. It was a bit of a stampede of people going to the front to try and catch him and to touch him, and about 800 people got injured in that particular event. Now this rocked David Cassidy big time, and at that point he said, look, enough's enough, this is getting quite dangerous, I need to quit touring. But thankfully to the world, he was able to continue his songwriting and his recording, and he certainly has had a lot of success since that time. I think the classic case is when you were as big as David Cassidy was, all you need to do is being a teenager in the 1970s. You think of David Cassidy, you think, oh man, I've got to go and see him. I thought he was absolutely gorgeous when he was around. Of course, this was the thing about David Cassidy. He had the look, and therefore girls just had to see him and be with him. It's great to see that he has had success since that time, between 1972 and 2008. So he was starting to do his own albums when The Partridge Family was on. 11 studio albums, 33 live albums, 2 soundtracks that he's part of, 27 singles and 10 compilation albums. And the other good thing about David Cassidy is that he was part of a Las Vegas show, EFX, that went from 96 to 1998. So, you know, if you've been in a show in Las Vegas for that long, you kind of know that you've got respect in the industry. Now, we'll get on to the clips, but I suppose before we do that, there's one song in particular I wanted to look at today, and that is the song I'll Meet You Halfway. Now, I think this song came out as part of the Partridge Family. In fact, probably a lot of these songs today did, because David sang them, he kind of was being able to use them in his concepts. Concept of meeting halfway. So you think about a relationship starting as an example. You're looking at each other from a crowded room. Your eyes meet and you kind of sort of nod, and next minute you are standing in the middle. You're both left to sides of your room and you're standing in the middle there, and you're kind of meeting for the first time. Well, the concept of meeting halfway probably is a big thing with the relationships going forward, because there are two people. So really what that means is that it's not just one person getting their own way and the other person missing out, or the other person getting their own way and the other person missing out. It's not about that at all. It's about a partnership, and how are we going to meet in the middle? And there's going to be elements, I suppose, of compromise and understanding that happens in these moments, and a bit of understanding around, well, what can I do to make the other person's life as good as possible? And meanwhile, the other person's thinking the same thing. If one person's doing it and the other person's not, it's a bit of a trick, right? Because it's not like a two working together type of thing. And so the concept of meeting halfway, I'm thinking, is something that's always part of relationships, because we've always got to work out how we can work out this thing together. There's got to be an element of being able to give way and to give up, so that for the benefit of the relationship. And then what will happen is that you'll discover stuff about yourself, you'll discover stuff about the other person, you'll discover some more stuff about love and relationships as well, and you'll start to think, well, I'm glad I actually am learning about this thing called love, because love is mystery. It's a bit of mystery to it. There's always more love to find out about. And so, meeting halfway isn't a bad idea. And I love this concept of walking together from that point. But there will be halfway point experiences all the way through our relationship. So the main thing is to be open and transparent enough to realise, well, hey, how can we do this halfway thing? Because this is new. We don't always know what people are like at the start. Things change and things evolve and all the rest of it. And so we've got to work out these halfway points a few times through our relationships. So, if you're in that bit of a situation, perhaps it might be new and you've been with them for a while, and you'll be thinking, well, what's the halfway points are we coming to? And let's work out how we can deal with them before it's too late and, the relationship's over. Because it's those who don't realise there are halfway point experiences that don't tend to last. So trust it will all be encouraging to you today, and trust me, as I'm talking about this stuff, I'm really and truly talking to myself as well, because I am not an expert on relationships. I suppose I've just seen enough with so many different people over the years. It tends to be what happens. So trust that will be encouraging to you today. So let's get on to the David Cassidy clip. So we do have I'll Meet You Halfway. This is a live version from 2010, which is pretty cool. We then got, when I think about the Partridge Family, we do think of I Think I Love You. This is a bit of a clip from one of the TV episodes of the Partridge Family, so that's a pretty amazing song. I love that one. We then got Looking Through the Eyes of Love, another Partridge Family clip, that one, and just beautiful, not just looking through the eyes, but looking through the eyes of love. A beautiful concept, that one. And then we got typical David Cassidy, 1974 here. This is like the pinnacle of his career right here. Rock Me Baby, singing the songs, singing about love, singing to the girls, singing with the guitar, the whole thing. David Cassidy was a force of nature, that is for sure. Unfortunately, he did leave us in 2017, so that was a bit of a sad day for the world, I'm thinking. Those that sort of think back on those times with good memories. Well, if you've come back, and so by the way, yeah, the links to those 4 songs are in the description below. That's where you'll always find my links. And I've also included my last video from Dido. So if you want to recap on her, feel free, as always. Yeah, so good to see everybody here today. If you have come back for another one, if this is your first time to this channel, thank you everybody for coming and thank you for hanging around to the end. I do actually like to say the thank you things at the end because I do like people hanging around because we do put a bit of effort into these videos, and so as long as people are getting touched and resonated in some way, that's a really, really good thing. Well, that's it for today. Now, I'm still discovering people from A to E, actually A to F, that I hadn't thought of. And I was in a conversation the other day and the guy said, have you done Ben Harper yet? I thought, no. But, you know, I remember, I suppose, meeting Ben Harper through his music. And there's one song in particular that really, really stood out to me. So, yeah, we've got to get Ben Harper in there. So that's where we're going next time. I giving will actually probably make this one a request. And hint, hint, we do have requests in this channel. Haven't had one for a while, so you know, if you want to go back to A to F and you think, oh, Trevi didn't do these guys, chuck in a request and I'll do it for you, hey? So anyway, so we'll see you with Ben Harper next time. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.